All right then. I pray this morning finds everyone well and doing pretty good. Um, I was wanting to come on just for a little while this morning and just talk about unfounded. That word unfounded. It kept coming up on yesterday about things being unfounded, truth and facts and things being unfounded. And I thought about it as how it's relevant to our lives. Things being unfounded, people saying things about you that's not even factual. And so very often in life, we go with that, through that, we face that. We face it so often, so very often, um, in our places of employment, where things are done or things are said that there is no depth to it. There is no truth. But the word unfounded is so important, more important for us to remember than we probably would even think. Because for something to be unfounded, it's no facts, it's no depth, it's nothing to it. And so this morning, I don't know who really needs to hear this, but it's on my heart to talk about this morning. So that's what I'm going to do. If there are things going forth about you, being said about you, and you know that it's not true, and there is no depth, no facts to it, it's unfounded. You have to find comfort in that. You have to believe that people will try to dig into your life for whatever the reason might be. They will try to dig and search into your life to find things that's just not, it's just not there to be found. It's no truth to the things that people have said about you. And I mean, this can be in any setting. This can be on your job. This can be in family units. This can be just amongst strangers, that people don't really know you. They don't get to know you. They don't know the depths of you. So they say only the things that they either think about you or that somebody else told them. And those things, the majority of the time, are things that the fact about it cannot be found. It just can't. There are times when I'm going to use an example. I want to use a scenario this morning of something that took place years ago at a conference that I had attended. And so I believe we were down in Austin when this gentleman came in. And he was an investigator, and he lived in Dallas, some county in Dallas. And he said there was a problem with air conditioning units. Air conditioning units kept going out, and they were finding that the antifreeze, I believe, that they put in it, that somebody was putting holes in there. And so what it was, they found a way to sniff the antifreeze. The young kids in the county which he was talking about was doing this. So the word was that some kids from a not so fluent area were coming over there, and they were messing with these people air conditions. So he said, as an investigator, You have to search out the truth. You just can't go with allegations. You just can't believe something because that's what the public opinion is in the area in which you're investigating. But what it wasn't those poor kids. It wasn't those middle-class kids. It was the ritzy kids that were literally living in these homes, nice homes, very nice homes, that if a poor kid or a middle-class kid would come there, they wouldn't even let them be in that area without searching them out anyway. That's how this area in which this incident was taking place, these incidents were taking place in, were. But what happened is they found as they went on, and cause young people, they'll tell on one another, because I'm trying to get out of trouble, so they don't know how to deal with an investigator anyways, because they're going to get nervous. So they began to tell on one another. But it was these kids who parents gave them everything. They had their own cars. When you got money, sometimes kids that got parents that have money, they can do more. And he said, and I'm talking about kids with like these little sports cars, and they had nice cars. But they were sniffing that antifreeze in the air conditioner. Some kind of way they got and pinned those lines, got into those lines, made holes into those lines. I don't know how air conditioner is made up on, to run from the outside into the house. I don't know. But he was sharing with us that when how it really opened up was not just through the conversation when they was looking for investigating it. The kids started to get sick, and something with their skin, because of it was a reaction from them sniffing the antifreeze. And so their skin began to dry out and peel, and, they got sick. What I'm saying, he said to us who were in that room at that conference, you never underestimate yourself in finding the truth, because you finding the truth, meaning that you could be freeing somebody else up from trouble or facing circumstances that they never should have had to face, but they didn't have the resources to keep those allegations from destroying their lives. Could you imagine how many poor children or middle-class children, if that investigator would not have stepped in, how their lives would have ended up? You have to find the truth. There's some things that it's just, if the truth can't be found about it, if the facts can't be laid out about it, you don't just jump on there and start pinning that on someone else. You might say, what does that have to do with this morning? What does that have to do with me? Okay, glad you asked. When things are unfounded about you, when things people put out there about you and say about you and try to destroy you, you might not even know it. But it might be somebody that know you well enough to say that's not true. It's no truth to what you are saying about a lecture. That's just not her. Just put your name in there. That's just not true, because that's not who she is. That is not factual. That's not who he or she is. It's not true. It's unfounded. I don't know him or her to be that way. And I've been knowing them for a long time. Make sure that what you are saying about others can be, the truth is there. Because that thing of being unfounded has messed up many people's lives. Because people can say something about you and it'll make people stop right there. You know, well, that's who so-and-so says he is. That's who so-and-so says she is. But they don't really know that person. They only know what they concluded about that person. Some of them never met you. They just saying what somebody else told them. See how important it is to find the facts about people. You want people to know the facts about you. You don't want people making up things about you and your family. See, when you want to know something about somebody, observe them. Spend some time with them. Get to know them for yourself. How many times have people marketed you for free? Because what they were saying about you made people want to come and see who you really were. And then down the line, they might say, you know what? You are nothing like I thought you were. That thought came from somewhere. I was nothing like they said. You were nothing like they said you were. See what I'm saying? You got to have facts. Those things got to be found about you. The truth. And when you allow things to be said about others to you without facts, those are nothing but allegations and untruths until you can prove something. See, during the time I was a legal advocate, that's why I was at the training that I was at, the conference. And as a legal advocate, you couldn't just write down anything that your client said and then go into that courtroom and try to present that as a fact. You got to make sure that everything that they're saying to you, that you're asking them more than one time, because you're trying to get the facts. You need to get the facts. It's important for you to get the facts. Because guess what? And I'm talking about experience working in a field with the legal system. As a legal advocate, if you want to be embarrassed by that judge in there, go in that courtroom with things that are not factual. And I can guarantee you that defending attorney will rip you apart. Will rip you apart. Because you got to go up there and give testimony on what your client told you. If those aren't the facts, if the truth can't be found in that, I'm going to tell you what they're going to say. That's unfounded. At the end of the day, when the hearing is over and the judge is going back and mentioning things during the case, the ongoing of the court session, and I've heard it say it so many times. I've heard it said so many times amongst witnesses, amongst attorneys. That was unfounded. That case was lost because they didn't have the evidence to prove the allegations that they brought forth. See, there's some things that people say about you, but they don't have the proof for the allegations that they created. So you know what? If they don't have the proof for the allegations that they made up, you didn't do that, they did that. They stated that. They said you did that. See, the burden of proof is not on the defendant. The burden of proof is on the one who brought forth the allegations. It's not about, that defendant attorney don't have to prove anything. You have to prove that your side has to prove, as the prosecutor, that what you are saying, that prosecutor has to make sure that he has a solid case. I know. I worked alongside him as a legal advocate. And I was told that in my judicial training. And I tell you what, to learn that before I actually knew that's how it worked, I always thought it was the defendant who had to prove everything until I got into that part of my profession as a legal advocate and had to go through trainings which were paid for by me. Some of the judges, they would have these judicial trainings and they would pay for me to come to the trainings, being a legal advocate. And I learned that you need to stop worrying yourself to death about things that are unfounded. Things that people say to you, things that people try to do to you, those are just allegations. They got to prove that, not you. Just because somebody says that you're a bad person doesn't make you a bad person. Just because someone says you're unworthy doesn't make you unworthy. You are what God says you are, and you have to get that. You got to get the fact that you are worthy. I'm not what they say I am. I'm more than that. I'm better than that. I'm bigger than that. I'm not gonna become what they say I am. I'm just not gonna do that. Because what they say that I am is unfounded. Not that. Good morning, Crystal. I'm not that. I'm not that person. I never desired to be that person. I never desired to do those things. Stop worrying about things and people that can't send you to the smallest room in the house. Let me say this again. Because I want to clarify what I'm saying, okay? You will worry yourself sick. You will stagnate yourself in life if you keep allowing, even to start allowing, others to send you to the smallest room in the house. On your job, if you keep allowing them to send you to the smallest room in the building, you're going to kill yourself worrying about what they saying about you, how they talking about you. You already know those are lies. You know that there's no facts to it. You know that. So let them keep talking. Because see, some people, they lie so good. They lie so good, they believe their own lies. And nothing you can do about that. But one thing that I want you to remember this morning, is that I heard Terry Anderson say this, that his mama used to say years ago. Terry Anderson of Lily Grove. He said, listen, if somebody, his mama told him, if somebody, I don't care who it is, if they can't send you to the smallest room in the house, which is the restroom, don't you even worry about it. You get that off of your shoulders. You start smiling again. You start living again. You start being who God wants you to be. Because otherwise, you will become who they say you are. And you are not even that. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. You're greater than that. That's not even factual what they're saying. It's unfounded. The same with your job. If they can't send you to the smallest room in that building, which is the restroom, don't you worry yourself about that. Stop worrying yourself about things and people that you can't fix. Because some people, they can't tell the truth. If you poured it in them, they would purge it out. They just can't. They can't hold the truth. Because they don't want the truth to be in them. See, there's some things that people might feel about you. And there's some things that people might feel about me. And they're not always good things. But they want to find comfort, whether it's true or not, in what they believe about you and what they believe about me. Life, sooner or later, let me tell you, you already know this. Sooner or later, something in life gonna get next to you. I want to say that again this morning. Sooner or later, something in life is gonna get next to you. I don't care what it is. Either it's gonna be your health, it's gonna be your children, it's gonna be the loss of a loved one, it's gonna be somebody getting in trouble. Life will throw you some curveballs you wasn't even ready for. You wasn't even ready for that. You ever found yourself say, where'd that come from? Where did that come from? That's life. See, for some reason, we're starting to follow, many of us following the concept of eating and drinking and being merry. Eating and drinking and being merry. And they're spending and they're doing all of this stuff that's always something to make themselves and other people feel good to be around them. Don't you know that sooner or later, between time and thieves, something gonna change? And it's a guarantee. It's a guarantee that your health gonna change. It's a guarantee that some folk gonna walk out of your life. It's a guarantee that you're gonna be misunderstood. And it's a guarantee that sometimes people are gonna say things to you and about you that's going to break your heart. It's a guarantee. You know why I know? I've said it. I've been through it. And I've heard other people say it and been through it. This is like, I can't believe he or she said that about me. I can't believe he or she done that to me. I just didn't know they could do that. See, that's what you call those unforeseen situations and circumstances that come up in your life. You wasn't ready for that. You didn't see that coming. It caught you off guard. Right here in this county. It's a lot going on now. Oh my God, there's so much going on now. But see, don't nobody want to talk about it. You just get a little bit of what we see on the news or what we hear somebody saying, and we don't even know. We don't even know if that's facts. We don't know. We just looking at the incidents around us. And we just go with that. Because somebody said it. Somebody said they knew how it played out. They might not even know. But somebody said it, and they have a large enough crowd or following, and the people that follow them, they believe it. But it's unfounded. You don't know nothing from no investigation. You don't know nothing about these people that this happening to. You just going with things that haven't even been founded. What I'm saying to you, get the facts on whatever it is. Just like you want the facts when somebody says something about you. When somebody trying to destroy and disrupt your life, get the facts. And you know, in the past, being on a task force, I can tell you this. The fact is, being on a task force, see everybody around the table. It's not just you. You got detectives around the table. You got researchers around the table. When I say researchers, I mean some of the task force that during time being on the task force, we were looking at young girls that was coming up missing. You know, that was part of what was happening. And you had myself and some others who were legal advocates there, everybody around the table. People from the search team, they were there. And everybody is trying to get the facts. Now, we can't go by hearsay. We can't go by hearsay. We got to have the facts. Because that mother, that father, they hurting. This is a delicate situation. We got to have things that we can point to the facts. See how important, I know how important facts is. Because I've been in so many settings as a legal advocate that you can't go without the facts. And you better be prepared to prove whatever you bring to that table. Because everybody at that table has an opinion. But one thing we all agreed on, we got to have the facts. Things that can be founded. These parents are missing their children. They don't want things that are unfounded. That was some tedious work. I enjoyed what I did. I enjoyed the people that I worked alongside. And it taught me about the very thing that I'm talking about this morning, unfounded. If there's no evidence to what people are saying about any given situation in your life or somebody else's life that you know, listen to me closely. If there's no facts about it, if you can't find the truth about it, it's unfounded, you stop saying it. Stop saying it. Stop being a part of conversations that you don't have the facts about. Because I'm going to tell you something. God going to hold you accountable for that. Deliberately destroying other people's lives. God going to hold you accountable for that. We're seeing today many people being released from prison because they were innocently incarcerated, right? That right there alone. They took 30 and 40 years of these people's lives because somebody had an ego so large they didn't want to know the truth. They wanted to get that under their belt that they sent this person to prison for 30 or 40 years with some things that weren't founded. But guess what? But even though people gave up, God didn't give up. See how he exposing this? You see how he exposing this? You see how they're beginning to find these different cases? And you and I, we might have never had something done to us to where we were incarcerated, but there's some things that people done said about you to people that have been in your mind and kept you incarcerated right there in your mind. Because you never put the truth out there. And they never came to find it out. But God always gonna put somebody out there to release the facts. To release the facts. That word unfounded is powerful. That word unfounded, it impacts all of our lives. See, a lot of people, they don't want to listen to you because you're not talking the way that they want you to talk. Let me say that again. A lot of people, and you got some good information, and you got some stuff that will help their lives. You got that. And you know what? But they don't want to hear what you got to say. Because you're too deep for them. See, everybody, some people want just them good conversation. That playing around all the time and everything is a joke and, everybody laughing and drinking and being merry and doing all this other kind of stuff or doing some wild type things or just some stuff that it's not things that gonna make you sit down and indulge in a conversation and open up to a conversation with some facts. That's a lot of what happens to me. I'm not talking about on here. I'm talking about just going through life. I've always been the kind of person. I like to research. I do. I like to research. I like to read, and I like to read about different things and read up on different things. And a piece of paper and a pen is my friend. Because I got to write some things down because I want to meditate on some things. I want to remember some things. I want to connect some things. In other words, I want to find out facts about what I'm reading. I want to go in depth because I want to deal with truth. That's just who I am. And a lot of you are the same way. A lot of people don't want to hang around you because you're not doing that fun thing. Because those conversations that you want to have, they just too long. They just don't make sense. But what people don't understand, when you can sit down and pick somebody's brain, that's a beautiful thing. When you can sit down and explore things with somebody else, just pick their brains. When I became a legal advocate, I had no clue what it was going to be like to do that line of work till I actually had to do it. You can read all you want to. You can read all you want to, but when you got to walk in a setting and bring what you know to life, that's when it get really real. You better make sure that you're dealing with facts when you're talking about other people. When you're talking about situations. See, some people, they don't really care about the situation. They just want their name out there. They ain't really into the situation. They not really into finding out truth. So when I tell you, when things are unfounded, don't be afraid to ask people, where did you get that from? And if it's not a good source, don't let people bring that to you. Don't let people implant that in your mind. Don't let people do that. I told y'all before, I worked with parents of murdered children. Back when I was younger doing that work. That's not easy. Because you have to separate yourself or you'll be emotional right there with them. It's not that you don't care. It's that you got to be intact so that what you do share with them is information that they're ready to receive. That's hard. That's hard on the families. Most of the times, it's a mom and dad in that room. That's when I learned even more when I was asked to do that. You better be dealing with facts. You better know some kind of research on findings. You better know that. Because people don't want to hear what's unfounded. And when you don't know something, just say you don't know. Just say you don't know. This morning, and it's been heavy on my heart since yesterday, I was thinking, Lord, it just seemed like it's so much killing going on. And Lord, people just don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. People are afraid. People just don't know what to think, how to feel. And it's not just here. Don't you know, it's all over the world. All this killing. But I can't prejudge nothing. I don't know I don't know what's making what happen. I don't know. Like many of us. All I know is God knows. And all I know is that one day he's going to reveal all of this to us. But right now, things are just, they're in an uproar. This world is just in an uproar. Not only that, we need to pray for these families, these mothers, these fathers, these sisters, these family members. Pray for them. You stop trying to be the investigator. Pray for them. You let the investigators do the investigating. Okay? Because I'm going to say this morning. A lot of what's out there, everybody don't come out of a bad home. Some people came out of homes with very good upbringing. But people make choices. People make choices. I can raise my child as good as I can with everything that I can. But that don't mean that my child is going to do everything that I taught them. Everybody don't come out of a bad home. See, that's founded. But to just say, because different things are happening, they came out of bad home. That's unfounded. The truth of it is, everybody come from different areas of life. And everybody, when they get to a certain age, they make decisions. And they are not always in the best interest. And we have so many venues. We got, about 4 or 5 nightclubs. But we don't have no youth centers. I don't know a place, I don't know a youth center around. There used to be years and years ago. I think they tore them down. I don't know no youth centers. If somebody know a youth center, put it out there. And you know what? And if it's not, you know what? They're spending money on everything else. Build a youth center. Somewhere these young people can go. They don't have nowhere to go. I'm talking about the ones that we still can work with. Start now. Start right now. Because you want your children and your grandchildren and your children's children and all of that. See, we're not going to stop just because we leave here. We got to start opening up some avenues for them. See, now that's a fact. You give them something to do. And all you need is about 3 or 4 of them to like it. And the rest of them will migrate that way. Put them in a setting where you can teach them something. Because right now, everything you're talking about, you just talking. And nobody's listening. Because a lot of what you're talking about is unfounded. You're just putting everybody in the same pot. I told you what that detective said. That's why I used that scenario earlier. Everybody was saying it was those poor kids. That's them poor kids coming down here in this ritzy neighborhood. All the while, it was their kids living in the same house with them, with their friends, drilling holes in their air conditions, sniffing the antifreeze. Theirs wasn't the poor kids. What they were saying was unfounded. But that detective found out the truth. And I can tell you, being a legal advocate, sitting at that table, you're going to find out the truth. Because when you at that table, all the evidence is right there. And it's piling up. It's piling up. Every time I went to the table, I saw cases, and I'm telling you, it's tons of cases, but piling up. It's no joke. You got to get the truth. Stop talking about what you don't know about. Stop talking about things that are unfounded. Because guess what? The truth might be right there under your nose and you don't even know it. I just wanted to come on this morning and just share that with you this morning. This morning. Stop prejudging. I'm going to say that. Stop prejudging until you can get some facts. It's not your job to sit up and judge people, to judge families experiencing loss. That grandma, that mama, that daddy, that grandfather, those aunts, those other sisters, they did the best they could. Come on now. Prejudging don't help nobody. But when you deal with things that's founded, you're dealing with a good thing. And even when things are happening to you and in your life, you keep in mind what I said. As long as what they saying or doing to you doesn't send you to the smallest room in the house, keep moving. Keep going out there in the public and being who you are. Stop being afraid and hiding yourself. On those jobs, as long as what they're doing or what they're saying doesn't keep you going to the smallest room in the building, keep doing your job. Keep doing your best. Because guess what? God is with you. He know what they saying. He know what they doing. He gonna fix that too. He gonna fix that too. All right. So remember that on today as you go through your day. Unfounded. Okay? And then smile. I put that post out there yesterday. You know, and I really do feel like that these days. I growed into that. When the enemy gets busy coming up against you, this is how I do it. In my mind. I don't say it to them. In my mind, I say, you go, girl. That's in my mind. Because God got me. Learn how to do that with people. You don't have to say a thing. You go, girl. You don't always have to be a woman. It can be a boy, a man. I'm just saying. You go, girl. I'm still smiling. God still got me. Keep moving. You ain't sending me to the smallest room in the building. I'm good. Because God know the truth if nobody else know it. Okay? Anyways, I'm going to get off here this morning. But before I get off this morning, I want to ask y'all to pray for those families down there. And I know we all been if you've been watching the news down there in Florida, pray for those families. They do have some helplines that you can call if you want to call and make donations. It's ways that you can make donations for the families to help, the families that are still here. And I think they found 11 so far who didn't make it, and there's still 100 and something still missing, 151, I want to say. But anyways, let's keep these families in prayer. Let's keep them in prayer, and just pray that God give them strength. Give them strength to handle all of this. This is a hard thing. People's elderly parents and elderly family members, and just a lot of people that's under a lot of that rubbish, and they know that the way that building crumbled due to foundation or whatever. We don't, I don't have no facts about it, but and so I'm not prejudging here. I'm just saying, let's pray for the families. Let's pray for the families, and who knows, it may be somebody still alive under that all of that rubbish. So pray for the families. We just got to pray for this world. It's stuff happening each and every day. And so just keep people close in your heart. Okay? And that's a fact. Pray that they're strengthened. Pray that they're strengthened in all of these situations, that the families are strengthened. From Texas to Miami to Ohio to Chicago to Washington, D.C., just this world. Pray for it. Okay? Because it's a lot going on. Might not have impacted you directly on today, but who knows when it might. And that's all of these situations. It's all of these situations. Anyways, I'm going to get off of here this morning, and I'll see you guys on next week. No, next Monday is a holiday, so I won't be on next Monday, but I'll be on next Tuesday. Okay? Y'all have a wonderful day, the most wonderful day that you can have. Okay? Take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. All right. Bye-bye.